First time I can remember drinking is in 8th grade. I just remember really liking the feeling. That's kind of where my trouble began. In school I was a good kid, I got straight A's. I always did really good in sports. At this high school in St. Louis, I found other drugs. I sought them out and they were available. I started doing ecstasy, I started doing cocaine, and drinking more often. This is about the time I met someone in Edwardsville who was a cocaine dealer. He was on parole for murder and was 12 years older than me, and I thought this was fabulous, like this is perfect. And it was the most awful, situation. This was the time when I thought it was a good idea to move out with the cocaine dealer I had met, and I started doing cocaine every day, and I decided that I'd had enough, that this really wasn't going so well. I started to go back to school, and I went to some community colleges and started at SAUE in 2007. In 2007 through 2013, I received my bachelor's and my master's in accounting. I got a job at a CPA firm. I was making $50,000 a year. This is where I was kind of spiraling down to my bottom. So my drug use had gotten worse over the last, year or two of my master's program, actually. I mean, I was working during the day and going to school at night, and I really don't know how I got through. But I had tried crack, and I started smoking meth towards the end of my master's program, and that I consider my bottom. So I get this job, and within 6 months I lose it. Yeah, it just kept getting worse. So October 2013, I lose my car, I lose my job, I lose my duplex. We went to a hotel. We stayed there for a few nights. Then I went to a weekly rate motel. We stayed there for a week, and I was looking at homeless shelters. When you're ready and willing and can accept that you have a problem and you can admit it, that's when he'll step in, During my drinking and using, I prayed these foxhole prayers. I didn't really necessarily have a relationship with God. I prayed to him when I was in trouble, and I sure never praised him. That's something I love about Gateway, by the way, or just the praising of God. That was never a part of my life. So here we are. I'm sober. I'm living in this hotel, and I'm panhandling with Ava, who's 3. I'm sharing this because I'm hoping it helps someone. I'm not proud of it, but there was a car who pulled up, and it was a guy, and he got out, and he gave me $100, and he said, and he prayed with me. It was him and his buddy. He's like, God sends me everywhere, and the whole time I was homeless with Ava, we weren't given $100, just handed to, and he prayed with us in the gutter on the side of the road, which was just amazing. So at this domestic violence shelter, it's a 6-week shelter, and you're supposed to work on finding a job and finding housing, and you have a curfew, and you have to clean, and every day you're supposed to get up and you're supposed to do something. You can't just sit around. This isn't a 6-week stay for free. So I went to the housing authorities and filled out applications with them. I went to the library and filled out job applications. And they give you like a goodie bag kind of packet thing when you get there, and it has a little Bible in it, and I dove into the Bible for the first time in my life. I read the 4 Gospels, and I would read it morning and night, and then I had a little daily reader, and I just, like the Word, like that's what I started reading all the time, and stuff started happening. Madison County Community Development was actually looking for a family, and at the time I was the only family, and this county housing program had a spot for a family. So that was me and Ava. We were the ones there, and Dawn's like, Amy, this doesn't happen, like this, you're really lucky. So I was so super excited. Feed the Hungry, that's serving breakfast to low income or homeless people. So basically it's a free breakfast, and anyone can come and get it if they live within a certain area. What got me interested in doing this and serving the breakfast was I was there eating it. When I was at Phoenix Crisis Center, I went to a church across the street and I ate breakfast there on Saturdays. It was free. So this really brings me back and really gives me a way to give back to people just like me. You know, it's funny because I was down there helping recently and I saw some people from when I was there, and I knew them, I recognized them, but you know, it's a good way to help. Sometimes I feel like I'm not that good at praying with people. I'm not that good at, you know, offering the right words even sometimes, getting those out. But serving breakfast, like that I can do. I can, you know, I can scoop the eggs and pass the plate along and hand out. So what makes this special to me this time is because I'm bringing people to the breakfast. You know, where before I was the one eating, but now I get to help and I get to also bring people, which is really awesome. It makes me feel good, and I'm glad I can be part of the organizing part of this event.